ACCOUNTABILITY. Accountability. A noun. The fact or condition of being accountable. Responsibility. Me, Officer E. Robinson, pledges to hold myself and other officers accountable for their actions. I pledge to speak out and up on unethical situations and hold those accountable, no matter the backlash I may receive from it. I took an oath, and I would do whatever in my power to uphold that. Although you may hate my profession right now, that's okay, and I understand, and I am the same color as you. I feel you. I hear you. This uniform and badge does not define me. I am hurting just like you. This uniform does not erase the pain we have felt as a Black community, being discriminated against in the country and the injustice our people have faced. Continue to peacefully protest for our loved ones. Stand up for your rights, but let's do it in a respectable way. Let's not forget, they feel and want us to continue to be the issue. Let's prove them wrong. Although some of us do not know the correct way to express our feelings, but let's use our common sense. And please remember, us good ones are out here fighting for you and with you as well. I've been Black before I was ever blue. Rest in peace, George Floyd.
Welcome back to Peach Kitty. This your girl TC. Today I have two of my friends from law enforcement here to sit down and talk about the George Floyd situation and also talk about the Atlanta riots. I'm gonna give them a second to introduce themselves and we're gonna get to talking.
Hey everyone, Ebony Robinson, been in law enforcement 8 years.
How y'all doing? I'm Ricardo Rook. I go by Rico. Been in it about 15 years, originally from Atlanta.
Right now, I do understand that the country is in a big uproar due to the situation with George Floyd. So right now, I want to kind of get an insight from you guys on your thoughts about the situation and how you being in law enforcement, how you feel about the situation.
Well, great. Thank you for asking that question. Great question. A key thing I want people to realize, and you got to understand, is that in law enforcement, when you're performing your duties, you're protected by a lot of laws and legislation that make sure that you're okay. So anytime you have that uniform and you're acting, doing your job, performing your duties, it's hard to, I guess, convict, charge, do all those things if you're doing your job. That's why a lot of times they say that they'll get you on like policy violations or violation of oath of office and all those things. So it's hard to prove not hard to prove, but it's hard to actually charge an officer because you're performing your duties, and it's kind of different from a normal citizen. And you asked how I feel about the situation that's going on. I feel like it's like a pressure cooker. Like, it's been going on for so long and the results are not normally made public, so people don't know what happens behind the scenes. So I guess people see that nothing is happening now. It's like it's an uproar now. Now people are just tired, you know. And I feel like as in law enforcement, some things need to change. Like, you need to have civilians, you need to have people available so they can see what's going on behind the scenes. Because like, I had a friend the other day called me in reference to an officer harassing her, and she asked me what steps you need to take, and I told her, and she said, well, no, I don't even worry about it. I'm just gonna keep it moving. All right, but if you don't report it, if you don't document the guy you're dealing with or the person you're dealing with, and you don't put it on paper, it never happened. And that's what happens a lot of times. We don't want to do the follow-up process.
Okay, I do want to address some questions in reference to your comment, but before I do so, I want to get Ebony's thought.
Personally, I just feel like, for one, I never thought about this happening. And it's more so like, what do we do? Because outside of a uniform, we're still normal people. We still have our opinions. We still necessarily don't know what to do per se, but it's like we're stuck in the middle because we don't know, our job is on the line. And we have families to provide for outside of our uniform. But then again, we don't want to let our people go, like let our people not feel like we don't understand where they're coming from. And it's just more so when it comes to me, because I'm a new mom and I have a Black son. So it hits home for me more than anything, because when you think about having kids, you don't think about this stuff. And you don't think about, far as like my son is gonna be, he could be this person that we're talking about, as well as my nephews or my cousins, my uncles, my dad. So it hits more home for me because it's our race. and it's just like we're stuck. And a lot of times where this stuff is happening and people are mad and they're upset because nothing is happening and everything, and people are getting off, and it's just like, who are we supposed to go to when our justice system isn't there for us?
You know, understand, we're all angry. I'm very angry because I have a black son, and every day he walks out the house, I fear him getting pulled over by a cop. I fear, you know, him getting hurt. So not only am I worried about the Atlanta streets taking him, I'm also worried about an officer pulling him over and him having to go through what possibly George Floyd went through, or other individuals who have been through that situation. So trust me, you know, as a race, we do understand. We do know you guys have a job to do, but what can we do, or what can you guys do to make the community feel safe?
When you see like one of your fellow officers, employees, or coworkers, however you want to call it, and you see them out there doing that, and you see the good outcome in the situation, it makes you want to be like, I want to be an impact on our community just like that. So getting to know them, their lifestyle, especially when it comes to these kids. Where we work at, these kids they're in situations where they have to do a lot of things to survive. So if they just talk to somebody and get to feel and get an understanding of they don't necessarily have to do all these things to make it by, then it makes them want to be a better person. And then it's basically a ripple effect. So once they see somebody doing good and they start doing good, then the other kids will follow. And that's all there is when it comes to that stuff, especially when it comes to our kids. Now when it comes to the adults, it's mainly talking to them on their level sometimes, and they understand. And that's just what it comes down to, talking to them, getting to know them a little better, and then once you see them out in the community, then be like, look, I know that officer, they helped me, they made me do this, that, and the third, and they ripple effect all over again.
Okay, so let's talk about George Floyd. The officer was videoed with his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes. What could that officer have done differently, or what should he have done differently?
From my opinion, once there's no longer no resisting, no threat, get them up off their chest, because that restricts their flow of breathing, respiratory all the way. Just so we can get them off of that, put them in a police car, sit them up, start talking to them just to get an understanding of what's going on with them.
And I like to be the person that keep it real through the whole process. Now, it was more than one on them, so that's why I can't agree with it, but policies are different from each department. Our use of force policy might state, once the threat stops, you stop. You know, if you apply cuffs, then you got to render aid. Like, it's a lot of, you know, you got to know what's going on. Like, I don't know what it was up there. It's no justification on being on that. That was overboard, you know, but like I said, for the most part, he probably violated the policy. And you got to prove intent.
Yeah.
You know, and I think at that time, with all the stuff going on in the world, it was a lot of pride. It was a lot of, I can't say he was racist or hatred, but it was deeper than that. Because I've been in situations where they say, if I got a dude down, they say, man, he's not breathing. I'm at least gonna look and see, all right, and then come up. And a word that people say a lot is, if you saying I can't breathe, then you're breathing. That's like an unwritten thing they say. If they saying I can't breathe, they're just breathing, so you good. So that's where all that part comes.
I did hear someone make that statement on television, that he was able to breathe. So, you know, I mean, he was able to say I can't breathe, so obviously he was breathing. But at some point, the man started foaming out the mouth and his nose started to bleed. So the officer continued to...
Well, then, and not to cut you off, that's what I said, like Ebony stated, we're human just like you are. Correct. When I'm in the heat of the moment, it's like, I'm different. You spit in my face and you cussing out, and I finally get you. You telling me to, somebody on the end telling me to stop, I'm not hearing that until I figure that you're down or you're done or whatever, like the resistance stop. When I click, it's a wrap. So maybe he was on that clicks, that phase where he just went insane for a minute and he didn't want to listen because people was telling him what was going on. But if you looked at him, he didn't even want to acknowledge that. Then you had the other guy, which I felt like the other officer, I don't know his name,
the Asian guy?
The Asian guy that was right there, pride. But also he in fear of his life also. That's going to be the defense. They're going to say, hey, they was getting riled up. I'm trying to keep the crowd down while they got him restrained at this point. You know?
But he should have been, he was more so of the lookout. So once you hear all of this, I think he should look back and be like, okay, look, lift his leg up a little bit. And that didn't happen. So that was another issue. And we're going to hold him accountable at the end of the day.
I think it should be definitely held accountable. You know, I honestly think that it was 4 officers out there. At some point, somebody should have said enough is enough. You know, them just charging the one officer, I think his name Derek Chavez or whatever his name was, I don't think that's enough. I feel like all 4 officers should have been charged. I feel like...
Let's go what you just said. And this law affects a lot of our kids, party to a crime. If you break in the house and I'm in the car with you, all of y'all get. But I'm saying the same energy you're using saying that, that's why that law still stands today. Even though you didn't go in the house and do nothing, even though you just stood right there, even though you might have said I was just in the car waiting, I didn't know what they was doing, I get the same charge they get. So is it fair? Sometimes the ones that actually did ain't even locked up. It's the ones that got caught or the ones that they remember. You know, it's like I'm from Atlanta, she's from Cali. We know Rucker, yeah, he was there. So they're gonna come get me and then I gotta make a decision. Am I gonna represent the streets and not say nothing? Or I'm gonna ride this out? I'm gonna call Evan. I'm like, hey Evan, what's up, man? Are you gonna come down here and free me or what? I heard that so much that I turned blue in the face. He gonna free me up, man. It's not gonna happen. If you don't sign the affidavit, if you don't do that at the first appearance hearing, it's not gonna happen. So you sitting on hopes and dreams, hoping that somebody gonna change your life, and they're not.
Right now, I'm gonna bring in a couple other guests who've actually had situations with law enforcement, so that we can continue our topic and talk about the George Floyd situation and the Atlanta riots. Welcome back. I have Ken joining me and Dee. These 2 guys have had situations with law enforcement, so they're going to give their perspective on what's going on in America right now.
Well, right now, to my understanding within me, like people are tired of praying. People are tired of Martin Luther King nonviolence because we ain't being heard. You feel what I'm saying? So now people don't step into the form of the Malcolm X. Let's show you why we're so angry. Let's make you you got to stand forward and more or less bring, just like you bring judgment down on me as I'm a civilian, you got to bring judgment down on your officers, because like really the biggest gang in the world is the government.
Okay, I agree.
You know, so now people want accountability. You know what I mean?
We want convictions.
Yeah. Be accountable for what you did. You know
Not
what I
just
mean?
a
Because
conviction.
if I got on handcuffs, there's only so much bucking I can do, especially when I'm laying on the ground.
That's true.
Now I heard a saying that y'all said, if you can say you can breathe, if you say you can't breathe, that means you can breathe. That's bull. If I can't breathe, I'm gonna tell you I can't breathe. You know what I'm saying? No matter, it don't take a whisper of air for you to be able to get your vocal out. You feel what I'm saying? And then like you know, and y'all training, y'all ain't never been taught to put your knee down on a person's neck.
You know, I got a hell of a background, criminal history. Did 25 years in prison. Been out 7 years. So I've dealt with a lot of police officers. You know what I'm saying? And even today, sometimes I'm afraid to get pulled over, because I know when I get pulled over and they run my name, my background show up. You know, I done had police officers come into my car shaking. I done had to come back, they can't hardly talk. And when I say it affects me because they see who I once was, not who I am now. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say I'm fearful a lot of times of police, I'm fearful a lot of times. You know, for that reason, I'm not scared of them because they're man just like me. But dealing with the Floyd situation, you know, and I don't want y'all to take that and I say personal, but it's just my opinion. As far as policemen are concerned, you know, policemen, you all are an organization. You know what I'm saying? Just like you got gangs on the street, blood, refugees, whoever else. Policemen are recognized as an organization. You all stand together, you know? And I mean, that's understandable because you all protect each other on a daily basis. So I understand that as a person. But as a human being, if you see him with his knee on somebody's neck and their life is in possible danger, you're still a human being. That suit is something you take off every day. You understand? So you as a human being, as an individual, you should say, hey, lighten up a little bit on his neck. I don't know if he can breathe like that.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I fought policemen in situations like this. You're still a human being. I don't care about no code of conduct and this and that. You're human. That comes off. The heart don't come out.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's my problem with the George Floyd situation. Nobody stopped it. You understand what I'm saying? Because you all are an organization. So you're going to stand together, you're going to stand firm at that moment. Like you said, at that moment. Now, when that moment is over with, then you got consequences to possibly face because of one individual's actions, it's too late. It's all of your actions, all of y'all actions. So that's my thing dealing with policemen. Be a human being as well. Don't just think about the badge and the uniform and what you represent in society as a law enforcement officer. Be a human being as well. You feel what I'm saying? Because I've had some good dealings with policemen since I have been out now. I've had policemen that run my name and actually come to my car and say, hey, I just saw how many years you did in prison. How did you do it? And we actually got into a deep conversation. And when I say this has happened to me like 4 or 5 times, they really be intrigued seeing me here now and listening to me speak to them and, you know, my actions, how I speak, you know what I'm saying? So I hold personally, and I say that I hold all of y'all accountable for actions such as the one that happened in Minneapolis. Because to me, like I said, y'all are an organization, you're gonna stand together. Just like they downtown riding, and I'm gonna speak on that. Y'all gotta protect each other, but you still got to be human in certain situations. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's just my perception of this George Floyd thing, you know. And when y'all go to the riding or whatever, you know, I have my perception about that as well. But I mean, you got to always remember, man, that suit come off every day.
Now that, and I'm glad you pointed that out, that don't happen here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this so real. You cannot, I don't know if somebody can even find a case in the Metro Atlanta area where we reside where something like that would happen. I've had officers get into fights. Hey man, you call them what? Why you say they? I mean, it goes on a lot, but we ain't gonna, it's just like, I ain't gonna put out my dirty work that going in the house, you know, we're gonna keep that here. But when we come out in the public, we're gonna be professional. That's what you're the hell to. I'm gonna be professional at all times. If you don't roll, we'll deal with it. We got you. I'm not gonna let it go to that point. And I don't know no officer in Georgia, well, in the areas that I've been in, that will allow that to happen. We've had cases where you got to get up out of here, partner. Yeah. Why? Because he made some comments. He said something is borderline racist. He got to go, or she got to go. Yeah. People don't know about that, and that's why it's a disconnect. Because we feel like, dang, y'all don't even know how much we fight for y'all in here. I can't even get promoted. I can't get sergeant now. I can't, because now I done bucked on this situation. So now I'm still on the streets. When you look at officers that got that gray hair and they old and you be like, dang, he must be why he on the street still? Because he didn't go by a standard. He made sure what was right, what was wrong. He or she did it. But now the way they suffer, they got to stay on them streets and work. And they got to stay dealing with the new generation who don't respect authority or adults and all those things. And now they got to have a hard time. So the only thing they're going to do is retire, quit, resign, or go teach somewhere. That's the part that's the disconnect we get, because it's like, man, you can go on social media, people say, man, I ain't with that, but I can't say what I need to say because I ain't gonna be able to get what I gotta get. You know, so it's a tough pull.
I mean, that's understandable.
And it's sad that, you know, since the 60s, African Americans people have used the police and police force on African Americans, and it's still happening today. You can go back and find footage from the 60s, even before then, where they used dogs. The police would come out there with dogs to hunt us down, to chase us down. Now, it's continuing. It's still happening. You know, instead of the government or whoever using police and law enforcement to help build communities, it's still tearing down the African American race. They use it as a weapon.
And this is a tough topic. Just think about it. If all the people who say F12 and all the energy, all the anger, imagine if you go support the officers in your area that look like you and talk like you and walk like you. Imagine if you support them for 2 days, 10 days, whatever. Imagine the results that happen. Let me break this down. I was in Alpharetta. In Alpharetta, you know, the owners, the business owners tell us, your money ain't no good here. You don't put your money up. You eat everywhere. When you at a stoplight working somewhere doing something, they bring you a bottle of water. It's amazing how you get the respect of it. You're like, dang, you come home, man, I be done saved the kid from getting hit by a car, done got a cat out the tree, and done brought this lady out,
fuck
and it's
12.
still fuck 12. Lame, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, dude. So after a while, you start saying, you know what? I ain't gonna say F you, but I'm just gonna keep it moving. I'm not gonna give you the same energy that I get at those people because I'm not gonna wear myself out. Now, that's not everywhere because, like, I moved to an area, man, I'm telling you, they support people. And it's a different vibe. I promise you, it's a different vibe. You know, if I can help you, I'm gonna help you. Hey, you wrong right now. Hey, go home because you shouldn't be out here. You gotta respect that. And then when you see me again, you gotta be like, hey, chill out. I had a situation, man, we were about to get shot at. And the joker was like, oh, man, that's rough. Y'all chill out. Now, it wasn't my space to say, hey, we're gonna have to go pick him up and all that. He looked out for me. I got you. I ain't gonna break no law or do nothing crazy, but I respect that. That was a human moment, like you said. I'm human. That man got a family, a wife, kids to go to. I ain't gonna take him away from that when they could have. And that's the key.
They forget that we're human outside of our uniform. And that's where also the disconnect comes from.
The problem I have, like, I don't see a lot of black officers and their partner is white. And they let the white man do all type of wrong activities. And they bad. Then you want me to support it? I can't do that. I can't. I'm not built that way to support what's not supporting me. I understand you, but you got a lot of officers. I'm gonna give you a scenario. And my brother will tell you, for a long time, when my brother was an officer, I wouldn't even talk to him. That's on the real. You know what I mean? He'll tell you, I love my brother, he don't talk to him. He come around, I walk off.
If
You know what I
she
mean?
was mad, they gained, well, not saying
I
gained,
was just that he was a police officer and I was a street dude.
right.
You feel what I'm saying? And like you said, you got a job to do. I don't know if you'll defy your job for me. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna put you in that position at the same token. Cause you're my brother, I love you. So I ain't gonna deal with you. But I ain't gonna lie, when my brother got shot, we was on the hunt for a dude that shot him. We was on the hunt. Yeah. I brought out the whole street. Yeah, all the street there. But like, and I can agree with what D said. Like, I did 17 years in the penitentiary, and it don't have no more. But at first, when I first came home, I've been home 10 years now. When the police used to pull me over, they used to be. I ain't never thought of it. But I used to be like, when they come into the car, they be looking weird as hell. So what I would do is just shit, everything all right. You know what I'm saying? Because they look like putting me on your license and insurance, and you know, I am a smart ass. I be like, shit, you run the tag and see I got government insurance. You know what I'm saying? Well, I just still need to see it. All right, I give them a license, and I show it to them on my phone because I don't carry around no card. I show it to them on my phone. They'll go back to the car. I know every my name and shit. All right. He come back to the car. He be like, when he give him a license. And his hands, sometimes their hand, I don't been there with their hand closed, and I be like, shit, you alright? You good, homie? They be trying to, your license, just throw it in. Yeah, I don't talk, just throw it in, man. And then I'll make them feel comfortable and they'll start laughing. Like, anything like that, I'll be like, you didn't see how you were looking coming up here. You know what I'm saying? But I think, man, we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
A very long way to go. And it's just like with the riots. Some people gonna come in peace, and then you got others looking at opportunity.
That's true.
You feel what I'm saying? See, that's where the looting come in at, because they're looking for opportunity.
Yeah.
I can make me some money.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's a long road. And then, like I said before, people are tired of praying and hoping.
But let me ask you a question. As a black man, black woman, you don't think I've been pulled over for?
Yeah, I know you.
Man, I done.
No, I know you.
Okay.
I went to Martin Fane.
Okay, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, I know you.
Look, I done got pulled over. I mean, I go through that same thing. When I go through Walmart and I'm regular clothes, because I'm regular Joe Blow in the streets when it's like that. I go through Walmart and the alarm go off, I get a sense of, dang, I can't never be comfortable. I can never. That's something that's really deep, but it's that trauma that's in us from all those years of what we see on the news.
Yeah.
That's why we got in law enforcement. That's why we're trying to be a difference. Yeah. But it's hard to be a difference when they're already knocking you, and then your folks knock you. It's a wrap. You have a no-win situation. But when I get pulled over, I have to do the same thing. My heart, I'm like, dang, I'm in law enforcement. Well, I'm tripping, but you don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, so we do know that African American men, they're a target. At some point, do you ever think it'll change?
No,
You don't think so?
not at all. Because for one, I feel social media plays a part in it. All the way. Because they're gonna continue to see what others are doing, and they're gonna want to try this. See if what my reaction is going to be. If I try what somebody else did, let me see how my outcome's going to become, and then it's going to be a ripple effect all over again. It's going to be we're going to be right where we are. It's not going to
But I'm talking about in the eyes of law enforcement, in the eyes of society.
Yes.
I don't.
Will it ever change? Will our black men ever not be a target?
I don't think so.
Well, the way you change is from now, this new generation. Like a terminology we use, we aim small, we miss small, right? I started my local community first, my local government. Start local, like we try to do a lot of big things first. If you start small with that one kid, like I know I posted on social media the other day, last week this boy tried to break in my car. He tried to go on my car door. I had on the ring camera. He lived about 7 houses down, they just moved over. I knew it was him, I know the MO. All right, I could have went, got the police, hey, it's the guy, let's go to get him. You know what I did? He was out there playing basketball. I rolled up on him with the car and I just stood and looked at him. Then I introduced myself. I said, hey, we ain't gonna lose like this. Breaking in the car, what you gonna get? A bag? What you gonna get? You ain't gonna win like that. But let me show you how to do this. I got a garden that I'm building in the back. Let me show you how to grow some food. You know, it's just, you gotta do that. Now, he ain't gonna come in my yard no more, but he see me now, he like. So it's a respect. I'm gonna start with him and then we're gonna just keep working.
I think on see, it may change with blacks on blacks. You ain't the same with slim with fashion. But it's not gonna change with white against black. And the reason why you say it's not gonna change because like when something's been embedded in you for so long,
it's
you know
not
what I
that
mean?
home. I
I got a white friend now. And the man told me, he said, man, I didn't know why I hated y'all. He said, but that's what I was taught. My dad and my granddaddy always taught me to hate the black man, to hate the Negro, to hate the nigger, and that's what I did. Until it took somebody like you to save my life. And I'm wondering why you saved my life. So I don't think it's gonna be real hard. Now don't get me wrong, you got white people rioting and protesting, and you had that in Martin Luther King days too. But you still got that other hand. You know, feel what I'm saying?
No, I don't think racism will ever change because racism is breeded. You know, a lot of white families, when they have children, they actually breed racism into their child.
Like breeding a dog.
As far as blacks are concerned, you know, we went from the 80 babies to 90 babies, 2,000 babies. You know, and the generations get worse and worse as we continue to go up. And you know, that's a whole nother topic about the household, the parenthood in the household. That's a whole nother situation, subject. But the young black generation are getting worse and worse. You know, so it's not racism is being breeded in black households. It's just you don't have that father figured out. So the young brothers go out into the streets and they get another idol. They start idolizing the wrong individual. So that's where their mentality comes from. Fuck 12. Fuck this crap. You know. So to me, it'll never end because of those things until the black people, until we can come together again as a family like they were back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. It'll never change. You know, will that time ever come? I doubt it will come in my lifetime, you know, because the 2000 babies are here. The 2010 babies are here. So 2020 babies start. So I mean, I don't know where the black people's turnaround will come, you know. But white people, like I said, you know, all white people not racist, and I know that, but a great majority of them are, and they breed it in their children from day one.
You know, I guess my opinion about will there ever be change is I pray that there is change. I've met some people of other races that are great. You know, some of them I call friends. But of course, you know, you have your good and your bad. You know, I think that it will start as far as making a difference is law enforcement and our judicial system have to hold everyone accountable. You know, and I'm talking about from a law enforcement standpoint of what happened with George, and you know, the list goes on of how many people that, you know, this situation has happened to. Yeah, they get arrested, but they never get convicted. Until law enforcement, until the judicial system start being fair and start putting some of these guys away, there won't be any change.
But the only way it's gonna be fair, like right now you got two prominent DAs right now running. You got Mr. Wise and you got Fonnie Willis. You got to get those type of people in, because you might have a black major, but it's a white person that's over him. So even though he want to say no on this, and I witnessed Paul Howard do that a lot, especially with the school case and all that. Them people didn't want to do that. That's why they want him out of that. A lot of them didn't agree with that. But what he say goes. Nothing goes through the Fulton County DA without Paul Howard saying yay or nay. And he gonna mostly say, when it's dealing with us, that's what he gonna do. Sad. And we deal with him a lot. You know what I'm saying? We try to,
But
hey
you
man.
know what? That's when it goes back to what Dee said. You got to remember, you got a heart, and you have to sometimes step out of that position. You know, if Fonnie felt like the situation was wrong, then she should have stood up. That's like the Aubrey case. You know, that situation
They
there.
looked out for each other. That man
You know,
wasn't even
yeah,
certified.
that was the DA's
He
office.
wasn't even certified to work in the DA's office. But yet, if I got a speeding ticket from 10 years ago, they won't even hire me in Fulton County.
Exactly.
But it's us though. You know what I'm saying? We got to get them jokers up out of there. We got to get people who gonna look out the same way. It ain't fair. But they took care of each other down there.
That's why I
That man
call
wasn't
y'all.
certified.
That's why I call y'all the biggest gang in America.
That's what
Police
DA's
force.
office. It is though. It's the largest
It's
thing.
because it all this governmental. It all coincides. Y'all gonna look out for each other.
But if you don't get in it, how we gonna change it?
I don't believe in.
We're gonna keep standing on the outside saying it ain't gonna change, it ain't gonna change. But the more we get in there, like if you don't deal with fun, that's fine. But why? Somebody got to come in there and do something different.
Like,
But I think-
and you know what? Maybe that is true. Maybe someone does need to come in and do something different.
Promise
you know?
it'll change.
But I don't know if she's the one that's going to come in and do something different because she didn't stand up for what was right.
She still have to live at the end of the day. We
It
gotta.
doesn't matter.
If I'm making 6 figures and my family's straight, and I lose this job, and
But you
that's
took
it.
a mother away from her 4 boys. And guess what's
Yes.
happened since then? Since then, 4 of her boys now got in trouble. And these were A students.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And I
So
can't
you,
speak
not
to
only
that.
not only did she, I'm sorry, this one is personal for
Yeah, I
me.
can't. Yeah.
You know, and not only did she send the mom away for life, she destroyed a whole family. My cousin had a structure for her boys. You know, and now you want somebody to vote for you? You ain't gonna stand up for what's right. So why would I vote you in with the expectation that you're gonna do the right thing when you've already showed me that you're Uncle Tom yourself?
We change. Like that's the thing with millennials. That's why they don't respect a lot of us adults and stuff. We forget that we had a problem too. We forget that we used to get in trouble. Like you talking about Margaret Fane, I burnt down Margaret Fane. Like I was bad in Alabama Temple. I did a lot, right? So that's why when I deal with people, I'm not gonna judge. Even if you make a mistake, I'm gonna come at you. Now, if you acknowledge the mistake and don't fix the mistake, then I know how not to deal with you. But if I put you on those, like, hey, look, man, that decision you made was wrong, and they say, you know what, I apologize. It was above me. What can I do to make it right? You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have that sit down because it be too much tension. But I promise you, if we don't get the right person in there, it's gonna be another cycle. Joker's getting.
How do you get the right person in there? Let me and I know you're gonna say vote, right? But how do you get the right person in there with vote? Because like you say, somebody above somebody should be done electronically, right? But they manipulate the situation. See, that's why I don't believe in voting. So they're gonna put in who they want to be in, regardless. So what am I voting for?
For local, that's why I said I aim small. And if I miss small, then it ain't gonna be that headache. But
Yeah.
I start with just the local government. If I live in Fulton County, I want to see you. That would be. I'll be on their Facebook or whatever they on. I come to where they speaking at. Hey, when last time you been to Old National? When last time you been here?
Yeah.
You know, challenge them people. You can do. You got that.
Yeah.
That's what we forget. We the people. We got the power to do a lot.
Right.
Just like these police departments. I found it so sad that you don't even know who the chief is. The chief ain't even been in your neighborhood. Just like when they did Fulton County Sheriff, they put on the milk cart missing.
And I'm going to tell you this right here.
Come on, man.
I contacted the city of Atlanta police chief. When my friend died, her name is Renee Edwards. She got killed in Mechanicville. I called that lady office on several occasions saying, hey, look, there's a lot going on in Mechanicville. You need to come out in this community because I saw you up there in that community.
Mm-hmm.
That lady's office never returned my call. No one would reach out to me, and I left about 10 messages.
Guess when you do a paper trail, did you report her? Did you go to Office of Professional
go higher
Standing?
up?
Now I'm telling you, that stuff
You gotta go
works.
above all of that.
I'm sorry, white folks do it.
Yeah.
If I speed through a light in my patrol car, they done call my tag in, they done did everything, I might got rolled up. Now if I speed through like my old national, you know what they gonna say? Look at him, where they going? He just wanna run through the light.
Yeah.
They're not gonna report it, so that behavior gonna continue to keep going.
That's
Hold
what
that
they
person
mad at.
accountable.
I didn't know that.
That's what them numbers on the car for. Ain't no not just for the number. Hey, this car officer in the car number 14 just went through the light, almost hit this little kid, or this guy. When you do that, it works. You see it.
Yeah. And that's where we fall short of where they get mad when we're not so-called doing our job.
Okay, but look, they said that there was 18 complaints on this officer.
Keep it real.
None
That's a
was
good old
done.
boy system for people who not vote. Now let's not get it mixed up. Where that happened at is not like Atlanta, where predominantly like it, we lose it with that. Just like Brunswick, rest in peace to Arbery. You know, it's like those areas are ran by different people. That good old boy system, I call it how it is. They get mad, whatever. They look out for each other. But imagine if we take over our city and we say, you know what, our next sheriff gonna be somebody that's from here. So like Keisha said, she's from Atlanta and all that. You can do the same thing. You can go out and run for sheriff. You get a whole bunch of people say, I'm gonna support this person to be the next sheriff before the county. Who gonna stop you? Because your vote gonna count. And you know if I got 100,000 people voting for this one person and we still lose, now we got something to talk about because I know they voted for this person. Nobody want to have that type of backing. We'll start it, then we'll stop. Then we'll say, well, I ain't gonna do nothing anyway. And then these jokers sneak right on in, and they get in there and they bring their people in. It's no reason why, Fulton County, you don't know the people that's in charge. There's no reason why. This is supposed to be the blackest city in the world. Like, we supposed to be the number one.
Used to be. They moving us out.
Because we're allowing that. Just like she made it coming about T.I. and Killer Mike. I'm telling you, politically, before she came in and made those decisions, they wouldn't let T.I. buy out no property because they say he's a convicted felon. They don't want his name tied to anything over there. Ironically, it done changed. You don't know. They bought Bankhead Seafood. They buying property all over there. It look all different now. And people trying to take that side now. But she changed all that. I'm not saying she the best, but it's what we can do for right now. She did. When Trump got in office, he made people who already had those feelings inside able confident to speak out. Now they're not gonna speak out in person, out here on the streets and all that. They're gonna do it on social media behind a fake
Because
account.
that same guy, that officer, I have a picture of him in the make white great again.
Yeah.
Somebody sent me that in my Facebook, like.
But if you'd have saw that picture before this situation happened, somebody, a regular citizen say, hey man, this guy I think he's racially biased. I don't think he need a patrol mic. Like, you have that voice. They don't need to be in this community. Because he come through here, he treat people wrong, he or she talk to people something. If you do that, you know they're going to move these people because they don't. It's a liability.
Yeah.
And just like Greg said the other night at the rally, the peaceful rally downtown, get in them pockets. Let's stop talking. Let's start hitting these pockets. When that money talk, that's when people start moving. That's when I got to get out of the way because now you jeopardizing my career. Just like I don't want to lose my job, the politicians don't want to lose their job. The DA don't want to lose their job. But if we don't say nothing, they're going to keep doing slick stuff, behind the door stuff, and getting away with it.
That accountability.
Facts.
Look, Towns. Y'all remember the recipe to the kid Towns that died? His cousin was a 1-hour officer with Fulton County. Do you know the officer that tased him was black, right? They said it was excessive tase. There was another officer that was just right there. There was another officer that's in charge of him. All of them went to jail. Well, Towns, the guy who did it, who's actually convicted, he's still in jail, and the rest of them got fired. They can't work nowhere else in the state. They done. That's
That's what I was ready to say. See, it ain't mostly predominantly white. Do the black wrong in that number.
I mean, yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
But
a lot.
You gotta be real, man. Let me tell you, the new wave now. It's like respect. Like it fails at that point. Like sometimes it's not mutual. Like if I come up, like you said with the car situation, I had when they pop up on our system, like wanted or convicted for murder. Like when you see that, but you gotta keep that. Everybody don't have that. That's why you gotta get the right people. That's why when they hire officers, you gotta be a part of that. You get to go to the training academy and see what they're doing. Hey, you get to do a, you know, you can come do a ride along with the officer. Did you know that?
I
Go to
ain't gonna ride in your goddamn car.
See, that's what I said. But you don't
You
want
have to do that to understand.
Nobody want to do this stuff. This
I don't want
dude,
to do that, and then be mad at us when, he ain't got no gun.
Well,
go around along and see
But
how
you
it
don't
works.
know that.
See how
You
it
might
works.
not be able to get out the car, but you'll be able to hear it.
You'll see the computer.
You'll see it right in front of your face. And that's the issue where y'all come up, like, where y'all don't understand. We don't know what the fuck is going on.
Okay, let me say this.
Y'all don't know what the fuck's going on until it gets bad and then somebody wants to start recording.
Yeah, I'm recording motherfuckers all the time.
You need to, and I suggest that from the time the cameraman starts.
Let me say this, and like said, ride in the car and stuff. Like I really don't think that'll change. This is like when I was young. My brother seen where I was going. Talked to my mom. They put me in a SCAD program, and they took me to Ford and County Wright Street, and I went in there, and dude talking about, yeah, we're gonna do that. Man, I wish I would catch you out there in the street. And I was young. Yeah, I remember you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I ended up seeing one of my homeboys, hey man, home talking crazy right there. You know what I'm saying? So they were looking at me like, I was like, see, it's a double-edged sword, and that's all in life. Some gonna get it, some not.
Right.
I was one of the ones, see, I had already been too far.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was already, people know me, so by you bringing me in here, it meant nothing. And now it did take for me to go and do this time that I did to reconcept my mind to like, damn, I ain't fit to be living out of no box out the wall. You know what I'm saying? So, like, riding in the car is cool, but that ain't gonna really change nothing. You know what I mean?
It's not gonna change anything, but I think what they're saying is that you'll be able to see it from this side of the.
Okay, but if you see it on the computer that I've been locked up for murder and this and that, but I'm out.
Got you. But I'm be real quick with it. I got you.
Okay, what does that mean?
You ride it?
So when you come to my car,
The hairs might stand back on my neck, and guess what?
yeah,
I'm gonna get some backup.
I'm gonna give I'm gonna get
You calling for backup.
Right.
I'm gonna give y'all something.
You never know.
You never know.
When can I run your tag?
it ain't giving time.
Wrong.
You man, how many you can run it?
Tell me. If you do a ride on, you would have figured that you would have knew that in order for me to run your tag, you would have had to do something. I had to have proper cause to run your tag.
Oh, you can say proper call now. Come on.
I can say whatever, but I gotta prove it.
Yeah.
I gotta prove it.
Okay.
So you say, hey, also, why you run my tag? Man, you went through that stoplight or whatever. Whatever they come up
And
with.
you know what's crazy? You say that because I remember my sister was on Cleveland Avenue. I was at work. My sister, and an officer pulled her over. And I asked him, I said, why did you pull her over? He said, because there's so much going on in the neighborhood.
And you should have said, oh, while we're at it, can you call your supervisor to the scene?
Yep.
You could have called 911 from the car where you was at and say, I'm in fear of my life, get somebody here, boom, boom, boom. Hey, get your supervisor on the scene. I said, you call 911. You could call 911 and leave it in your lap. Say, get somebody right here.
Man, I'm not reaching for.
You know what?
I don't feel comfortable reaching to grab my phone.
My question is this. What's the terminology on the streets? But when somebody trying to bait you to do something, they say, don't get tricked off the streets, right?
Yeah.
Simple, right?
Right.
You know how the street work.
Right.
So you got a lot of us who know the streets and then we go to law enforcement. So we learn both sides and then we come back and tell you how to maneuver through this thing.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you gotta live, I gotta live, I got kids coming up, I got nephews, all those things.
Right.
Once you know the points, I can't mess with you no more. If you pull me over, if I pull you over and you ain't got no reason for me to pull you over and I tell you your tail light out, hey, you mind if I take a look at it? He recorded, even if he not, you can talk loud, get people to look. It's got to be a reason. But what we mess up at, man, nigga, what? And then, boom, I'm going to go, oh, yeah, he all right, hey, start me another unit. Hey, let's go. You loud, it's all over the time.
Get what she say.
What's that?
Just because she ran and seen that I had been locked up, she going to call for backup. Now, they gonna, now see, because she's a woman, right? Now, the backup going to call, he going to play tough guy.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now, he gonna mess up the situation where it didn't even have to even go there.
But it's gonna go off of vibes though. So if you don't give me no
I
vibes,
can
you
be
give
calm.
me the
No.
cameraman, I'm not gonna call nobody.
I know, but I can be, I'm talking about when you go to
When
the
you
car.
run his name and you see that he was locked up for murder.
It goes on.
Actually-
It goes on about vibes in the beginning of the camera.
I'm cool.
I done had
It's
your web pop
cool.
up
I'm
and
not gonna do
say,
none of that.
Cool.
it'll say wanted and blah, blah, blah. I mean, whatever. I'm going to give you that. Now, if I tap that,
I
I'm going
ain't
to
gonna
say,
be wanted now.
hold tight, you know, it's a wrap. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
Now we're talking about clean person.
and I'm talking about officers that's really for real.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about afraid. Like in the Floyd case,
Yeah.
he was afraid, he was scared. He shouldn't have been in the uniform. You see what I'm saying? Like it's different types of officers.
I don't think he was
I don't
afraid.
think he was afraid. I think he was just an asshole.
I think he was just bottom line
That
racist.
ego
Because
back
if you
there.
look at the flick, at one point in time, when his knee in his neck, when he look up, he got a smirk on his face.
And he had his hand in his pockets like he
Yeah.
was just chilling.
And then if you look at it, because I slowed it down and looked at it. Then when you look at it, after you get that smirk, you see him press down a little bit more. You feel what I'm saying? He was
Enjoying it.
intended to be nasty. He enjoyed that moment. And I hope that moment cost him his life.
Yeah, he did.
The Asian guy did make the comment, don't do drugs. And he was talking to the young guy. I think they said it was a 17-year-old that was filming it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I do want to, let's talk about the riots. Let's talk about the riots that's going all over the United States. It's been a lot, you know, and unfortunately it even touched home in Atlanta, where we seen people loot. You know, they're just acting out in rage.
Yeah.
You know, let's talk about that and what can we do as a community to get back to the main focus of peaceful protesting. You know, we do need to protest. We need to make our voice heard. We need to stand, but we all need to stand with the same purpose.
Only thing I'm against is that people making comments on social media about they wrong for rioting. No, go pull that kid to the side and do it on one-on-one. That's why it's division. They asked for help, they begged for help, nobody gave them help. Now all they know how to do is tear something up. We teach them that early in the school. You mad? Go tear something up. Go,
But you know
or go
what,
punch the wall.
I
Now
think-
they doing that, but I'm saying we embedded that in them.
But
In a lot of
I think we have to be taught. I don't think people know how to protest, and especially the younger generation, because they parents, you know, they went around when Martin was out there walking. You know what I'm saying? They parents didn't go walk to what was that, Forsyth County years ago when they had racial situations. Mine did. You know, so they don't know, and they haven't witnessed peaceful protesting. They haven't witnessed African Americans coming together to do something positive.
But
So it has to be taught.
they watched it and we just blame
I
them.
think they know how to protest. I think they know how to protest peacefully. But keeping it gutter, being real, they seeing a protest as an opportunity.
Some did.
That's what they seeing. They seeing it as an opportunity.
But
come
what
up
does
on
that do
something.
for us that are not using it as
Well,
an opportunity?
sad
What
to
does
say,
that do for those of
it
us that
does.
really want change?
It does nothing for us and it hurts us. But I'm gonna rewind it and go back to what he said, is that the people above, you gotta come to the community. Show your face in the community, not just on the TV screen.
What you got to say about the protest?
I'm gonna say this right here. When people pray, ask for a peaceful solution, everybody say, hey, that's what we need to do. Okay? But when the radical minded individuals, and I look at the youth as a radical minded individual, when they come out and they go about their way of expressing their anger and trying to bring about a change in their mentality, they're wrong. Okay, I heard the mayor say yesterday, the day before yesterday, they're being disrespectful, they're being disgraceful. That's her opinion. Me personally, that's the way that they are expressing themselves. So I'm not going to say they're being disgraceful nor disrespectful, because they're expressing themselves the way that they feel. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, when this man over here, if he want to pray and ask for a peaceful solution, then that's him. If this individual over here wants to sacrifice his freedom and possibly his life to bring about a change for your son, your daughter, you all's children, then that's him. You understand what I'm saying? He knows what he's doing. These young boys, when they doing what they're doing, they know they can get locked up. They know they can get killed. So they're expressing their anger the way you just said something about it, the way that they know how. You understand what I'm saying? So when I look at what's going on downtown and all around the United States with the rioting, I don't judge this man for praying. I don't judge that man for going in that store. He went in that store. If he came out of there with 10 iPhone 11s or what 12, whatever they got now, he came out with them. But he was expressing his anger when he went in that store. Fuck the police. Fuck the world. We do what we want. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about the riot. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, he had some people to come on the news. I ain't gonna call no name. This ain't the way to do it. Y'all shouldn't do this. Stop. Player, when you come, you don't have a platform to come on television and ask the youth to stop doing what they're doing. If you're gonna come out and about and ask somebody to stop, you got to hold a platform. When I say a platform, God bless the dead, I speak about Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle held a platform. If he was still alive today, He probably could have came on TV Friday night and said, hey man, this ain't the way, y'all. Fall back, chill. And I promise you, man, we gonna get a change. Guess what? Man, Ryder probably would stop Friday night. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I never thought about it in that manner.
Yeah,
And I
because they
guess
ain't
they
never in the
are.
hood.
They are. No, I'm talking about it's even for the kids expressing themselves. You're right. I never looked at it that way. You just made me look at it a little differently. You know, at first I was like, oh, they need to stop doing that, but that's how they express themselves and do what they do.
They are a part of a change. And this is the message that they sent out to America. We tired. We ain't putting over this shit no more.
That's it.
We're gonna strike back.
We gonna come. If y'all kill us, guess what? Our death, not in vain. It's a part of a change. I had a little boy tell me the other day, say, oh, you know what? Man, this on real, man. Man, I'm ready to die about that shit they did to that boy, man. The boy here 19 years old. I said, you really ready to die? He said, oh, no bullshit, man. He said, man, I got 2 sons, man. 1 and 2 years old. He said, man, I'd die to make sure that shit don't happen to my motherfucking child, man. That boy 19 years old. Called me on the phone, told me to come meet, to holler at him. So about a 19-year-old expressing himself to me like that, hey man, how many more people in America, young brothers in America, 19-year-olds who feel like that? You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this right here, because I don't want to talk about police officers. It's gonna always be 2 sides of the streets. But the way that y'all can come about, man, and change a lot of things in the black communities, and they may be against policies or codes or whatever, I don't know. But sometimes you just come through the communities and just speak to people, even the young boys. Say, hey, look, bro. I ain't saying you ain't doing that, but I'm saying a lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Say, hey, look, bro, I just want you to understand this right here. I'm a police officer. I uphold the law. You got a little sister? See, I got a little sister. If somebody was to violate your little sister, what would you want? I'm gonna kill them. Okay, but if you can't find them, you do want them caught. You do want something, you understand?
Yeah.
Some type of punishment for them. You feel what I'm saying? Because I used to hate police. I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to hate the police. Because I was a straight street nigga for real. But now, when I see policemen now, get what I say. Well, I sure appreciate seeing you. Because I don't want to go back. You understand what I'm saying? Situations should occur.
Yeah.
So when I see y'all, I ain't worried about that situation. I see y'all at a gas station. I heard the whip up in there and fill up. But guess what? When I don't see somebody, then I'm kind of timid because of the shit that go on now. You understand what I'm saying? But just interacting, and I like I said, I'm not saying you don't do it, I'm not saying you don't do it, but interaction brings about a more calmer situation, a more calmer atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? As far as the young people or the old people, whoever it is out there riding, as far as they're concerned, the change that they can bring about is this. One thing the government would notice is the change in generations. You see this generation here is there to the point where we'll bring war. Y'all can bring martial law, you can bring what you want. You all have guns, you're trained to use them. We have bullets, don't have a name. So we're willing to shoot just as you're willing to shoot. So yes, when you see the mentality of the black race becoming in a violent sense, a violent state that could actually erupt to a World War III possibly in the United States, it goes to changing the mind of the government. You understand what I'm saying? So the government, they look, I mean, they have think tanks, they have professionals, they have all type of stuff. I don't even know the name of all these professional people they got. But they watch everything in the world. And they're like, hey, the generation that we got now, they're willing to kill, they're willing to die. We don't need them. So that brings about a change in laws, legislations, practices, everything. So that's my opinion of what's going on today. How can riots and looting bring about a change? The mentality brings about the change. These are not the ones that were here in the 60s. These are not the ones that were here in the 70s. These are somebody we don't even know who they are. But we don't want to take it to that level. Because if you take it to that level, if her son goes to that level, guess what? As a mother, her mind may even go to that level. If my son is ready to die for a cause and for the future, then I'm gonna be ready to die with my son too, because I don't want to see my son go like this. So it's you know what I'm saying? The change can come about.
I do believe that our African American boys and men are tired. You know, I do believe these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 40, 50, 60-year-olds, our African American men are tired, and it's like they're crying out for help and no one's helping. You know, they're losing their lives. They're being attacked.
What advice can you give to us being in law enforcement to take back to our supervisors or our chiefs, our majors, to how to handle these situations when it comes to our community? Besides just community focus.
Well, we're gonna go to the ride along, cause I kind of see insight in them, like, but it gotta be a structure. We gotta come to a table.
Let me ask you a question on that. It was gonna be real quick too. And the reason why I'm different because when you work in prison, when you're in the prison, those guards, they don't have what? They don't have no gun, they don't have nothing. They gotta learn how to act because it's 30 inmates to 1 or 2 guards, right?
Right.
So they're not gonna walk in there and go, hey, shut up, hey, you sit, because they know if you do that, something gonna happen, right? Now, majority of the people that get in the most issues, they can't survive in that environment.
Right.
That's why your best officer used to work in the jails and corrections, then they come to the streets because they know how to balance it. I gotta learn how to talk to people first. First of all, it's respect. If I don't respect you, it's gonna be a disconnect. I don't care how you look at it, how you dress it.
I think that you guys, what we can give you guys to take back is to hold your coworkers accountable. You know, when you see, and you guys may, you know what I'm saying, but all officers do not. If you see someone doing something wrong, stand for the right. Regardless of,
Don't be silent.
I say stand for the right thing, not later.
regardless of what the situation may be. If you see that white officer or even a black officer doing something wrong and you know it's unfair, speak up. You can't be silent. Being silent holds you accountable just like we hold that other person accountable. Okay, it's on you, D. Answer that question.
Consistency, for one, and like I said, interaction. You know, interact. Just cause you go today, you're like I'm a bit can't steal my language, but you know, we're speaking on what's happening at you know, just cause you go to a community, say, hey, little bro, bitch, get on. That's gonna come. But you come tomorrow, hey, little bro, God damn, this bitch. So now it's not bitch, get on. Now it's like, now this bitch won't leave me alone. Then you come back 2 days later, hey, little bro. So man, what you want?
That's it.
Consistency. You know what I'm saying? Consistency means a whole lot in society, period. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like I said, you know, I did a lot of time, and anybody that know me from the time I was in prison, I never changed. I was the same from day one to the last day. And that's why I got so much respect where I was, because consistency. I don't care if you was in a Blood, a Crip, a GD, I came out and I socialized with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? I interacted. So they're like, he not that, or that, but he fought with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? So interacting and consistency with your interaction brings about a change.
Okay, so now I want to ask you two the same question. What advice would you give African American families or African American citizens, white, black, on how to deal with what we're dealing with now?
My thing would be, and I like what you guys said, and it's like reverse. Start making that person feel like you appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? They hear F12 every day, all day. But they go to a community and they show some love, give it back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, call their department and say, hey, chief or whoever, can y'all bring officer such and such out here, you know, deal with this situation? When you're on 911 dispatch, hey, is such and such on duty? You can ask, believe it or not, you can ask these type of questions. Hey, is Officer Smith on duty? Hey, can he come out? Because he can handle this situation. You know, that'll be the change that I'm telling you. And also that person getting the recognition to know that, hey man, we appreciate you, because what y'all don't realize is officers get beat down by the command staff, they lieutenant, they sergeant, the streets, at home, the wife or the husband beating them down, then they come out there, they get beat down by you. After a while, it becomes a process like, man, F it. I'm just gonna go rogue and do whatever I wanna do. So they human too. Hey bro, I appreciate you. When you ride by officer, hey, they doing something, hey man, I appreciate everything you do. Imagine how the trickle effect that'll be. Man, I was in Delano, over there where the Blood's at. And my thing was, every day I would come to work 30 minutes early, I'd ride over there through the neighborhood, like, hey, I'm on duty today, and I would get the $2 bills. And I'd give it to the kids, right? That was my way of knowing that I've already touched that kid. They'll be like, hey, I was working, I still got that $2 bill you gave me. 3 months later, crazy situation. But it started small. And then when I ride through, they can be fighting, doing, hey, y'all chill out. Now, I didn't brag about that, but it was like, it made my job easier, and I survived. I was like, dang, that's cool. I'm riding through, I come bring my speaker, we play some music, we go play basketball whenever I could, and we chill. Then we start trying to bring resources. That's how you start. Now you got to face on it.
You made initiative.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, initiative, and it starts at home.
You gonna call backup.
Oh, no, that nigga. But look, you got people that
okay,
hate.
but so, Rucker was my beat partner for years. And a lot of things, because he comes from a large background of being prison, jail, whatever. So it's like he helped me a lot when it came to a lot of stuff. I used to, my attitude was horrible.
Domestic case, the man going to jail. Like on GP, you can be cut up. Oh, bro, I'm like, oh, wait.
But it's him outside looking in. Look, like, Amy, poke your breakfast. And it's just like, just seeing him do what he does with the kids, like he's awesome with the kids. Okay. And it's just, that made me want to do so much. And comes with respect, teaching your kids at home. Home is everything. Come out to these events where the police officers are holding. So you can kind of get an idea of what we're trying to do, what the change we're trying to come about. And that's just where it comes from there. Like, it just starts with, like he said, aim small, start small.
Yeah, that's pretty much piggybacks on what we were speaking about earlier about holding your partner accountable. You know, so it's great that you guys were, but what you said you guys were?
Yeah.
You guys were beat partners so that you were able to feed off him. Mm-hmm. You know, so if he saw you doing something, I'm sure he'd be like, hey, hold up.
Yeah.
And the big partner thing is like you'll be, so if I'm assigned, I keep, national or whatever role you're on, that's your area you patrol. Like I said, get to know your area, who officer your area, just like it is in the school resource officer or the probation. It's a trickle effect.
Yeah.
Put a name on them. Everybody ain't F12.
It's not.
You know.
And that's stuff on offenders. Like, they can say that all day long.
It doesn't offend you guys when people
because
say
it's,
Twitter.
you guys are, it's your freedom of speech. Like, come on now. That don't bother us. Like, you can say it all day long. I mean, we have those officers who, that stuff gets underneath their skin. But then there goes the accountability where you notice that and you're like, look,
Yes.
Bobby.
Do you agree that some officers?
I want to thank everybody for coming out to sit down and talk with me. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to be safe when you guys are out there patrolling. And know that you do have some people that are out here praying that you guys make it home. Everybody ain't saying fuck the police. You know, fuck the one that had his knee on, fuck the one that had his knee on Floyd neck. But other than that, thanks for coming out. Until next time.